Hi, home stars! I have some plants around me because today you are coming into my country home. You're going to take a walk with me and I'm going to show you 5 ways how I hang plants in my home. Now I have all 5 of them around me here. We're going to talk about them and we're actually going to do 2 practicals and then we're going to go into my home and show you where I hang these plants. Right now, some of them are very simple. I would say they're all simple because I try to stick to things that are not only simple but cost effective and ways that I can use upcycled, recycled, repurposed materials or thrifted materials. And so, yeah, let's start with this one in front of me here. It's an ivy, which I got from somebody I just met last year. She gave me about 6 plants. I met her once and yeah, she gave me about 6 plants and my ivy is taking off. It's doing pretty well. I have it here in this. This is more like a what we'd call a zinc kind of situation here, and so I like it because it has pattern on it which creates texture in the space and a little sheen. Right, it has 2 handles and I could go ahead and tie at the handles and hang the plant, or I could go one step further and use a sling. Now I have 2 pieces of rope here because I was using a sling on these pots before, but I've decided to change how I hang them. And so the rope was fine for this, but it's not going to be fine for this. It's not going to give me enough length. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a piece of craft wire to join the 2 pieces of rope or sash cord together. So I just overlap them and then I'll start twisting the wire around them together. Now I didn't want to put a knot there, so that is why I am using the wire to join them, because I just feel like the wire makes the area flatter and I don't want the area to be bulky. Okay, I think I'm going to need more, so before I cut it, I'm just going to go ahead and wire and then I'll cut at the end. No, it's too hard to deal with. I'm going to just cut it longer this time. There we go. That's it. And I'm pulling it very tightly together. There we go. So it ain't coming apart. It's tightly together. Now I'm going to take the rope and I'm just going to rest my pot on the rope just like so. And then I am going to bring one side up through the handle here. Pull it all the way up like this. Then I'm going to take this back over the handle and I am going to do just a simple slip knot. I'm done with you. Go over there and behave your little self. Okay, there we go. So we're on that side. That's done. Then I am going to pull the other side. I'm going to take it through the handle. There we go. Tighten it. Then do a slip knot on this side just like I did on the other side. As tight as I possibly can. There we go. There we go. There. Make sure it stays under the bottom of the pan in the middle. It's just to create a little flare, right? It wouldn't be the same if you hung it from the handles only. Then I'm gonna take this up, and when I hang it, I want it to be just about at eye level, and the place that I'm gonna hang it, yeah, this will be enough. This will be enough. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm thinking I'm gonna use just a simple slip knot at the top here, making sure it's in the middle. I hope I'm not off the frame while I'm doing this. There we go. And that it is as simple as that, but it creates so much more flair than if you just hung it from the handles, right? There we go. Now let's go hang this baby, and then we come back and look at the other 4 ways. Let's take you closer and show you the knot that I did at the top of the rope, right? I did a simple slip knot just like I did on the handles, right? And remember, we used the wire to tie off the bottom, so it is seamless at the bottom and it just comes out nicely through the handles. And we ended it with a slip knot, and we're gonna hang it right here. This is in my bedroom, and it's hanging in a corner where I've installed a pole so that I can use the space for plants, right? And so there you have it. So let's move on to the number 2 idea. This is a macramé holder. Now, I did this actually, and I have a video for this exact macramé holder. So I'm gonna link it for you, and I think I may have 1 or 2 more videos, so I will link them for you, or I'll link one and then I'll put whatever else I find on the channel in the description so you can check it out. Macramé holders are relatively easy to make because you don't have to use a design by anybody. You just got to get certain principles and be willing to try. You can DIY your own, and you can make double tier, triple tier, make the spaces as big as you want to make them, as small as you want to make them, and they are very, what should I say, aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, those are the words, right? And I have what we call a creeper in this, and I actually forgot to water it for a couple of days. I watered it, and now the leaves are coming up back bright. But not only did I make the macramé holder, I actually used leftover trim to put a tassel under the bottom, but I'll link it for you so you can see it. So I am gonna should I hold up? No, let's go hang this baby. I have this hanging at the first landing on my stairs, and it's hung under a corner shelf that is housing another plant. So putting corner shelves or the corner posts that I just showed is a game changer for the corners in your home, because you can go ahead and hang your plants or rest your plants on the shelves, and it gives you that natural nature added into your home, right? And also give you something of interest in the corners of your home. The plant at the top, and then under here I have hung the creeper on the macramé holder. Macramé holders are great for country, farmhouse, boho, or it can even be used in modern homes. It all depends on the look you're going for and the feel, right? Not because you have a modern home, it doesn't mean that you can't have something that can be used in a country home. I need to get myself a little trailing plant for that pot, but until then, the pot itself adds a little color there. I am just showing you the details on this macrame holder. And now we are going to move on to the third way that I hang plants in my home. Now, this third way that I hang plants in my country home is as simple as you can get. Basically, get yourself a bucket. I have a bucket that I found actually when I moved here, and I put some polyurethane on it just to give it a little sheen, a little shine. I have a couple more buckets too that actually had rust on them, and I locked in the rust with polyurethane just to use them to create that rustic feel in my home, right? And so I have the bucket, and then I basically just use a piece of chain, my friends, to hang the bucket from a bracket from my ceiling, right? So we're going to talk about the fourth idea before we go ahead and hang these. So the fourth idea is right over here, and it began in the thrift store. I got myself a lovely basket, which I thought, I could use that to add some rustic flair to my home. And it had handles to make it even better. So I added sash to it, right? But I'm going to show you little details. I use this stainless steel ring so I can hang the basket from this. But then what I did here is basically I just tied and tied and tied again. So basically this is what happened. When I tied the cord on the ring, I just went ahead and I tied, and I tied again, and I tied again. It's like making chains when you're crocheting. And I did that just to create a little interest at the top here, right? And then before I did this first. And then I went ahead and I looped the sash cord through the handle, did a knot, just a simple knot, and then I used my craft wire to twist around here, and I did the same thing here, and that is to make sure it's held in place nicely even when you put weight to it, right? And so it will never come undone. I'm gonna hang this one with the chain right here. It was in a different location, and now I'm hanging it here. And as I like to say, I like to hang them just about eye level. This is certainly not eye level right now, but you know what? It's good enough. I can reach and I can put water in without any issues. So I'm good with this. That is good. And my spider plant is just coming up, right? It still has a long way to fill out. This is where my plant with the chain was hanging before. And now I am going to put this one here just gotta make sure I center up the rope on the handle so that it will be balanced. There we go. And then just gonna take it over the stair, and I am gonna hang it right here. Now this baby is okay. Even if I can't reach from the bottom, I can reach right here from the stair. There we go. I like the fact that the basket hits the pot just about where you have that design, which looks more like a Greek key design, and then you see the terracotta. So there is texture coming from the basket, texture coming from the sash cord, and texture coming from the pot there. Juxtaposed against those lovely shiny leaves that are gonna be overflowing very soon. Let's move on to number 5. Number 5. A while back, I bought some wooden plates at a garage. Well, it was at a thrift shop this time. And I decided I was gonna use it to make use them to make plant hangers. And so I have this fern, and they've been sitting on my fireplace mantle for a while. So now I am going to be hanging them. As a matter of fact, I hung them over the Christmas. I used like a sling, like the first idea I did, and I hung them from the sling. But now I am using the plate. I need to make an adjustment at the fireplace, and I'll show it to you when we get there. So basically what I did was just use there's some water here. There we go. Oh no. Wipe a little more. Okay, there we go. So basically what I did was use a spray paint to spray out the plate, right? And then I got myself sash, and I have my little stainless steel ring for the top. And I have a needle threader needle and a threader. You'll see why I need that soon. And then I need to find the midpoint so that I can get 4 holes that are equidistant from each other. And so I got a piece of paper. I traced out the circle. Then I folded once, folded another time, like that. There we go. And so, and then before I opened it, actually, I marked the hole here, which means that marking the hole here would have marked 4 different points, right? And so what I do next is put my paper on the plate, and then I go ahead and just mark where my holes are gonna be. It's always good to use a template whenever you can. Just need to get my spade bit in. There we go. And then I've marked the location of the holes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get my holes in. And I am using a piece of wood underneath so I don't bore into my table. There we go. Oh, the next thing we're going to do is get our 2 pieces of sash cord rope, and we are going to put them together like so. Okay, There we go. And then I'm going to thread them through the ring, and we're going to find the center. There we go. There we go. We have the center. Now that we have the center, we are going to use this finer sash cord, and we are going to create more like a tie-off at the top here. So I'm just going to take this and just start going around and around and around closely to the ring. And then I'm going to go until I'm satisfied. Make it look similar to the other one. This is why when I see these things at garage sales or thrift stores, if I don't have an immediate use for them, as long as they're excellent buy, I'll pick them up. Yeah. Okay, so now that's enough. What I'm going to do is use my scissors and just cut that off. Then I am going to go ahead and I am going to put my threader through the eye of my needle, because I want to put the sash cord through the eye of the needle, but without the threader I won't be able to do it because the needle eye is not big enough. There we go. So now I can go ahead and pull the cord through the eye of the needle. There we go. And it is through. Thank you, needle threader. And then what I'm going to do is, the reason why I do that is because I want to finish off the end of the thread behind what I'm doing here, behind my bundle of thread. And so I just push the needle through to get the rope through, and so you won't see the rope. This part is where we started. I can just clip that off and we are done. Right now we are gonna thread the ropes through the holes that we just made, and we want to make sure that the ropes are not crisscrossing, right? We want to thread them so they make sense. That, and then this. There we go. And then just gotta make sure that it's making sense. There we go. And then this one is gonna go here. This sash cord is very twisty, so if you can get something else apart from the sash that's more relaxed, then I would suggest that you do that, right? And then, just like I finish off with a simple knot at the bottom, that's what I'm gonna do here. Now, as long as you give this a decent length, then when the weight goes on top, it will tighten the knot and it won't come apart. So that's my aim here. And I'm doing all four. The last one. There we go. So now you have a thing like this, just like you have this, right? And so what we're going to do is put our plant on. Okay, let's move this one away because these sticks are very fragile. They tangle a lot together easily. At some point, I think I should trim them back. But now I have this like this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to thread some of the fern through there. And I'm going to thread some through this side. Just trying to create a balance with how the fern is trailing here. And put some through here. Here, right here. Yeah. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And let me know, would you try one of these ways that I use to hang plants in my country home? There we go. There we go. So now we have 2 hangers the same height, and we're going to take them inside and hang them. Remember me saying I need to make a change. The change I need to make is, I usually have these lanterns hanging there, but that's not the change I need to make. The change I need to make is to get brackets that hang out maybe about an inch or 2 further out, because when I hang the plants on, you will see that they are resting a bit hard against the mirror, the frame of the mirror. And so I don't want them to rest so hard against it. I want them to brush, but not rest like it's leaning, right? And so I need to be changing these out. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and hang them on the brackets that I have here. Yeah. Set them up nicely. There we go. It's a bit dim in here. Can I get some more light? Just let's take you a little closer and show you. There it is. And there is the other one. This is how I use recycled, upcycled, reused, found, thrifted materials to hang plants in my country home. The next thing I'm going to be doing is using all upcycled, recycled, found, given, thrifted stuff to show you how I decorate my mantle, because right now it's not decorated. Everything is just thrown onto it. It's like a catch-all right now, but we are gonna decorate it together. Thank you guys so much for your support on the channel. Thanks for being here. Let me hear in the comments which one of these ideas you will try, or if you are trying any of these ideas. And as I said, I am gonna be linking the macramé videos that I have on the channel. You take care now. I will see you again soon.